Hello and welcome to Blythe Business News. Today I'm joined by Claire Bay, who is Executive Director, Exploration and Business Development for Oriole Resources. Oriole, listed in London on the AIM market with a market capitalisation of around £5.4 million, is very active in Cameroon, where it has its central licensing package. Welcome, Claire. You've just released the results of the channel chip sampling program undertaken at Mbe, which is in your central license package. Before we get into the results themselves, what was the objective of the program?
Hi, Tim. We reported earlier this year that mapping and rock chip sampling had identified a 3-kilometre long zone of high-grade gold mineralisation at Mbe, with results up to 134 grams per tonne. Now, since that announcement, a handful of artisanal workers have exposed a 200-metre long section of one of the veins within that 70-metre wide corridor, which has developed as a series of pits, which have effectively provided us with small windows into the system subsurface. So although these excavations are narrow, 2 to 5 metres wide, it's given us really good information about the subsurface of our system. And so when I was in the field with the team last month, we rather opportunistically took samples across 6 points within these workings to give us a better handle of grade distribution in the veins themselves and into the wall rock. And as our investors will have seen from the photos that we published at the time, the geology looked really exciting. So we were quietly confident that the assays would deliver, and also relieved when they actually did.
Okay, that's a tantalising thought. So come on, what are the results from the programme and what are they showing you about the licence?
So the results have confirmed that we've got continuity of mineralisation in the subsurface. I say subsurface, we're looking at excavations just a few metres from surface. So it's giving us a little window, as I said. But importantly, it's telling us that we've got 2 vein sets which are mineralised, the shear veins and extensional veins, but more importantly, perhaps, that we're getting grade distribution significantly into the wall rocks. The best sample of wall rock mineralisation that we returned from this programme graded almost 6 grams per tonne over 90 centimetres. That's not the end of the story, though. Because these are narrow excavations, we have ended in mineralisation on our intervals, either on one or both sides. Effectively, what that means is that the pit has limited the extent of the interval that we're reporting, not the grade. So if we dig further, we anticipate extending that zone even more. And I mentioned previously that we were quietly confident that we would get good results. So it was really pleasing to see that 17 out of the 19 channel chip samples we took returned over 1 gram per tonne gold. And the best intervals that we've reported by compositing those using a cutoff of 0.3 grams per tonne include 2.2 metres at 8.47 grams per tonne and 5 metres at over 2 grams per tonne. And as I say, this is just giving us a short window into a vein system which has the potential to become up to 70 metres wide. So it's very exciting, and it really gives us an indication of what a potential drilling programme might look like, and how we can effectively have high-grade mineralisation from surface over what we hope to be much more significant widths going forward.
So what are going to be the next steps in developing this licence?
Well, we've recently also completed a ground-based magnetics programme. We've already reported the plan view image of that processing, but it will go on to a more advanced stage of processing interpretation. That will give us a view down to around 200 metres below surface, an indication of what the system looks like at depth. And on the basis of that, we'll be able to refine our drill targeting. We're looking to commence drill targeting in the next field season, which will start at the end of September, early October. It will be reverse circulation or RC drilling, and it will be a maiden programme. We're already talking to drill contractors about that programme in preparation. Effectively, what the RC drilling will be doing is testing that full 70-metre wide corridor, finding out exactly how the grade's distributed within that zone and also along strike. we'll initially be focusing on the areas of the system where we've had the highest grade intervals at surface, and then we'll be expanding the programme out from those zones based on results. To help fund this programme, we've previously announced that we've engaged with the Canadian Investment Bank, who are looking to secure $1 million of funding in return for a 10% interest in the project. That funding is earmarked for the maiden drilling programme, but also to follow up on multi-kilometre golden soil anomalies that we've identified within the 4 other licenses that form part of the Eastern CLP project, which is a sub-project of the wider CLP. We were hoping to have secured this funding by the end of Q2. We've announced today that that process is still ongoing, and so it will push now into Q3. Ultimately, though, once the funds are in, the Eastern CLP will then have a value of $10 million, which is significantly more than the £5 million market cap you mentioned earlier. So given that this is just one project within a much wider asset portfolio, we'd anticipate that this project level funding would crystallise value back up to TopCo for the benefit of all our shareholders. So we'll obviously keep the market updated on the developments there.
Claire, thank you for that update on Mbe. Let's look at the rest of the central licence package, and please give us a quick overview on what shareholders can expect in the coming months.
Yes, we really mustn't overlook the fact that the results published today relate to one prospect in one licence of what is part of a much larger package of licences. The CLP overall comprises 9 licenses that are contiguous over a land package of 4,000 square kilometres. We often refer to it as being district scale or having district scale potential, and that's really flagging our belief that there's the potential to host multiple deposits within this package. For context, for the scale of the opportunity, the package itself is larger than the county of Hampshire, larger than Essex, and 2.5 times the size of Greater London. So you can start to put in your mind the enormity of the potential here. When you consider that alongside the fact that last year we published a maiden resource for our Bibemi project, also in Cameroon, the first resource published, JORC resource published for Cameroon, it was 305,000 ounces over a strike length of around 1 kilometre. You start to translate that into the size of the project area that we have at the CLP, and you can really start to see that we've got serious upside and scalability, and you can really appreciate why we're getting so excited about this area. Mbe is obviously sticking out like a sore thumb, and logistically it's a dream. So we're prioritising that for drilling in the first instance, but as I mentioned, we do have multiple other multi-kilometre anomalies within the Eastern CLP, and we've also got some lithium anomalies, lithium in soil anomalies that we're looking at following up within the wider licence. The good thing about these licenses is they were all granted within the last 2.5 years, so we've got a nice long tenure on them, up to 10 years renewable, and so we've got a great run-up at exploring quickly, efficiently, and zeroing in on the best targets. Essentially, we just scratched the surface.
Well, Claire, thank you very much for that update. You must come back and keep us updated as you scratch below the surface. That was Claire Bay of Oriole Resources giving us an update on their activities in Cameroon. That's it for this edition of Blythe Business News. Thanks for watching.